The Whisper from the Crypt. The village of Stillness lay hidden at the edge of an ancient forest, where darkness seemed to reign both day and night. The villagers lived a simple life, isolated from the outside world. They had one unbreakable rule: never go near the crypt at the edge of the forest. The crypt had long been a source of haunting tales, with whispers of cries and ghostly apparitions appearing under every full moon. Lan, a young woman who had recently moved to the village with her parents, didn't believe in such superstitions. To her, it was all the product of overactive imaginations and old folklore. However, the longer she stayed in the village, the more she felt a strange unease. The wind carried eerie sounds, like faint whispers from restless spirits, and the villagers' terrified expressions whenever the crypt was mentioned sent chills down her spine. One day, when her parents left the village to visit relatives, Lan decided to break the taboo. She would explore the crypt herself. Chapter 1: The Scary Legend. Before her journey, Lan visited Old Tam, the oldest farmer in the village, who was said to know all its secrets. He told her that many years ago, the crypt had been the resting place of a wealthy but ill-fated noble family. The mistress of the family, a stunningly beautiful but cruel woman, was reportedly murdered by her own servants due to her mercilessness. Before her death, she cursed anyone who disturbed her eternal rest to pay with their lives. Afterward, the servants themselves mysteriously disappeared. All that remained were the mournful cries echoing through the night, and since then, no one dared to approach the crypt. "Don't let your curiosity bring you doom," Old Tam warned, his eyes filled with worry. But Lan only smiled, dismissing the story as a tale meant to scare children. Chapter 2: Into the Darkness. The next afternoon, Lan packed a flashlight, a small knife, and a notebook to document her findings. She ventured into the dense forest, where sunlight barely pierced the thick canopy above. The air grew colder with every step, and strange noises began to surround her. Leaves crunching, branches snapping, as if someone or something was following her. As she approached the crypt, a deep chill ran down her spine. Before her stood a weathered stone entrance, overgrown with vines and moss. The massive wooden door lay askew, revealing a yawning black void. Under the flashlight's beam, she saw stone steps descending into the earth. Step by step, Lan descended, her breath echoing in the confined space. The air was damp and heavy with the faint stench of decay. At the bottom, she found a long hallway with walls covered in strange carvings. They depicted grotesque, twisted figures that resembled tormented souls in agony. Lan steeled herself, jotting down notes in her journal. But as she concentrated, a faint whisper brushed against her ear. "Leave." Chapter 3: The Spirit's Whisper. Lan froze, spinning around, but behind her was only darkness. She tried to calm herself, convincing herself it was her imagination. Yet the whisper came again, louder this time. "Leave, or you will die." Fear began to creep into her heart, but her curiosity drove her forward. At the end of the hallway, she found a large chamber with a stone coffin in the center. Strange symbols were carved into its lid, and two candles on either side of the coffin inexplicably flickered to life. Lan approached cautiously, her flashlight illuminating the coffin. She saw an ornate mirror standing beside it, and in the mirror's reflection, she saw herself. But her eyes were blood red, and her face twisted into a horrifying expression. She screamed and turned away, but when she looked back, the eerie image had vanished. Chapter 4: The Terrifying Truth. Determined to uncover the truth, Lan pushed the coffin's lid open. A foul stench filled the air, and inside lay a white skeleton. Strange symbols were etched into the skull, written in a language she couldn't understand. Before she could investigate further, a sudden gust of wind blew out her flashlight. In the pitch-black chamber, maniacal laughter echoed around her. A cold, malevolent voice snarled, "You dared to disturb me. Now you will pay the price." Lan screamed and ran, desperate to find the exit. But the path seemed to twist and turn, leading her in endless circles. No matter how far she ran, she always ended up back in the chamber with the coffin. The ghostly figure of a woman in tattered white garments emerged, her blood-red eyes glaring at Lan. Chapter 5: The Curse Broken. Lan fell to her knees, pleading for forgiveness. The ghost drifted closer, and as it reached her, Lan felt an overwhelming sense of agony, as if countless tormented souls were screaming inside her. Just as despair consumed her, the necklace she wore, a family heirloom given by her mother, began to glow brightly. The ghost shrieked in pain, disintegrating into nothingness. Lan collapsed to the floor, low unconscious. Chapter 6. The Return. When Lan awoke, she found herself lying in the forest outside the crypt. She had no idea how she had escaped, but one thing was certain: she would never return to that place. From that day on, the villagers no longer heard the cries from the crypt. But for Lan, the ordeal left a lasting scar. Every night in her dreams, she still saw those blood-red eyes watching her from the darkness, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed.